against women and children.
On the eve of the campaign, we exposed a horrifying trend among young boys.
Same-sex rape among young boys has become more prevalent in schools. Social workers say in most cases, juvenile perpetrators themselves have been sexually abused or come from violent homes with poor parental figures.
On the face of it, carefree and innocent, but traumatized and psychologically scarred.
Before we didn't know there is something like this. A boy can rape a boy. A rape, you're always looking at rape to girls.
It didn't only happen once.
And took him to the bathroom. When I opened his pants and see, it was the same thing, a big hole to him.
Activists want more effective measures implemented at schools.
Our victims are the ones that are suffering effects more than the perpetrators. And also we need to take into consideration that these are juvenile offenders, but as much as they are children, they also need services. They should not be at risk to our other children in school.
The campaign kicked off with an appeal for harsher sentences for perpetrators of gender violence. Looked at intentional burn victims.
Violence against women and children take on various forms. Burn survivors carry the scars for life. 30% of all burns are intentional. In most cases, it's where one partner tries to harm the other, and often the children pay the price.
10-year-old Mel Mtetwa is a victim of partner conflict. 2 years ago, her mother's former boyfriend hurled a petrol bomb into their home. She was orphaned and also lost her 2 sisters.
No one to die because you're angry. No one deserves to have lifetime scarring because you're angry. And for God's sake, they're children. Your fight is not with their children, who are sometimes also your children. They don't deserve to bear a scar forever, to say to the world, that was 5 minutes anger.
Following our story, Mel reunited with her brother.
See my sister on television. That is the thing that I see my sister, and I'm happy to see him because I didn't know where can I get him. I was trying to find on Facebook.
And my brothers love more. I couldn't love him more.
A love that will see survivors like Mel spread the message. We explored babies who were dumped. Baby Lebo was born at 26 weeks. His alcoholic mother took medication to induce delivery. She abandoned him at the hospital. This year, activists drove their message home through this handmade dolls campaign.
Effective way to create awareness around child abandonment. These dolls represent the countless babies dumped by their mothers, often in inhumane spaces. In some instances, abandonment is as a result of sexual abuse.
We're trying to say, this baby doll has been abandoned. Please take care of it, choose to take care of it, and choose to care.
Many here don't find loving homes. But for baby Lebo, a happy ending. He recently joined his new parents. We highlighted the shortcomings of the justice system, evidence of repeated abuse. This 3-year-old was initially hospitalized for a broken arm. It was neither a fresh nor the only injury.
She also had a huge wound on her scalp, which according to her parents was caused by a knock on the bed. Besides all those very common injuries that we see with physical abuse, she had other telltale signs which are diagnostic.
Her 8-year-old brother was subjected to equally shocking treatment.
There were a lot of injuries to his groin area. This is a child who'd been traumatized many times, and unfortunately he's got a chronic case of enuresis, which is bedwetting, and due to that he had torsion of the testicles by the perpetrator.
Seeking legal recourse was of no help.
The case was dropped despite overwhelming medical evidence of abuse. The 2 victims were further failed by the Children's Court. They were released back into the care of the alleged perpetrators.
We delved into the options women explored to protect themselves. It was a narrow brush with death for Jennifer Gill. 6 years ago, she was held at gunpoint during a robbery at a convenience store.
He came up behind me, he put his arm around me, and he put a gun to my temple. And I decided at that point that never ever was I going to feel that helpless ever again.
Gill took up self-defense classes and became an instructor. We also looked at the tireless work of NGOs. Children of Fire has been running a unique project at Joe Slow Informal Settlement for the past 10 years. The area is plagued by unemployment, poverty and social ills. Alcohol abuse often the cause of shack fires, killing, maiming, destroying lives.
It's an initiative aimed at educating these children on a range of issues from fire safety to human and gender rights. They meet here every Sunday and interact through discussions and reading.
You guys think it's fair?
19-year-old Loide Ndemweda is giving back to this community. With these tools, children here can break free. The 16 Days campaign highlighted the gains, but also the stark reality of a myriad of challenges. Activists say the campaign still falls short.
Women and children continue to be marginalized even when it comes to prosecution. They are not getting the opportunity to tell their story in court.
And like every other year, repeated calls for the campaign to run 365. Gillian Pillay, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Well, loads of cricket action underway in Durban. Pearl will tell